Okay, thank you for joining me. Let's make some tomato sauce or marinara. This is the sauce that I use for my pizza, so I guess you could call it pizza sauce. The preparation, the technique is very easy, and it's delicious. What matters here though is the quality of ingredients, and it's hard to get these tomatoes, good ripe tomatoes during the winter time. So this is something I usually make only in the summer. But let's get started. So it's real simple. Tomatoes, I've got about, for this recipe today, I've got about 2 pounds, a little over 2 pounds of ripe tomatoes. Basil. I've got garlic. I like garlic, so you may not like as much garlic as I do. You could easily just do 1 clove. If I count real quick, it looks like I've got about 10 cloves of garlic there. But I like garlic, and I think it adds a lot of flavor to this. You're also going to need some olive oil and salt. And this is going to be roasted in the oven. So I've got my oven preheating at 450 degrees. And while that's getting hot, let's take care of the tomatoes. So basically what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to quarter these. Just a rough chop. I'm not even going to cut the garlic, because after this sauce roasts in the oven for about 30-40 minutes at 450, I'm going to hit it with the immersion blender. If you don't have one of those, food processor is fine, or even just a blender. But that's why I'm not even going to cut the garlic. I'm just going to throw it all in together and roast it together. So, okay, so let's assemble this easy sauce. I'm just going to toss my tomatoes into a baking dish. Get them all in there. I'm using basil today. If you don't have basil and you just have dried Italian seasoning or oregano, that's fine too. It doesn't have to be basil. I just like I have fresh basil right now. I've been growing it in little mason jars for the last few months, so I have a lot of extra basil, and basil and tomato seem to go together, so that's what I'm using. But if you've got oregano, use oregano. If you've got dried Italian spices, use that. So I'll get my garlic in there, a little olive oil, and it's going to be about a teaspoon of salt, maybe a teaspoon and a half, and basil. I'm not even going to bother to cut it up, just put it in, and there you have it. You got the tomatoes, garlic, basil, olive oil, and salt. If you like it spicy, red pepper flake is delicious on this, but I've got 2 little girls, so I usually keep that out. But red pepper flake would be really good in this as well. So I'm going to throw this in the oven. I'm going to roast it for about 30-40 minutes, and then we'll see what happens. Okay, so let's get this in the oven. It's hot. Just get it in there. And we'll see that guy in about 30-40 minutes. You see it's hot. A little color on there. That's great. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to transfer this to the pot here so that I can use my immersion blender to turn it into pizza sauce. Now, so I'm careful not to burn myself because this is hot. I'll try to do this on video, but get all my tomatoes, garlic, basil, all that into the pot. We want all the juices as well. If it turns out to be too runny after you blend it, then we just turn the heat on and reduce it for a little while. That'll take care of that. So now, the immersion blender. A little bit of a mess, but oh, right in the face. Okay, there we go. Now, I do think this is a little thin, so I am going to put it on low heat for about 20 minutes. It'll thicken up. I'm going to test the salt, make sure it's to taste, but other than that, this is ready to go. There you have it. Homemade tomato sauce, roasted in the oven. Enjoy.